I've noticed a bit of a change. Okay, a change in my style over the last few years, and that's the fun and interesting thing about style, is that it's constantly changing with our lifestyles, changes in our lives, changes in our bodies, changes in our location, right? The weather, all of that, and that's what makes it fun half of the time. But I think I personally have definitely noticed a change. There's probably a combination of two things, and that is moving from my 20s into my 30s, and although I am a year and a bit into it, I do still think that I've noticed a difference. And then the other thing is moving to New York. And I think both of these things combined have allowed me to sort of explore parts of my style that I was closed off to before, or just really hone in on what I like and have a bit of more of a clear understanding of what my style is. However, in today's video, I'm going to try and summarise and go through the main changes that I've been able to pinpoint with some photographic evidence, some of which I'm not particularly proud of. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're gonna love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. The first big change, I think, and this is kind of a more recent change, has been letting go of the term flattering. And whilst I do still sort of use it from time to time, I think that I saw something somewhere and it was like, you can really have so much more fun with your style if you drop the fact that everything has to look flattering on you. And for some reason it hit home, all right? It was like, oh, hold on a second. This is quite interesting, because I think something that was very sort of evident throughout my 20s was that a lot of the things that I had to show my body in one way or another. It was the skinny jean, it was a form-fitting top, it was everything was very sort of tight to the body all the time. And I think that letting go of that a bit has allowed me to embrace different styles that maybe are a little bit more voluminous or a little bit more oversized or whatever it is, right? I've got like a pair of Mugler trousers that I would never have looked at before because they don't sort of, you know, form to the body and show what my body looks like. Like I said, it's allowed me to, shock horror, explore trousers that aren't tight and, you know, the emancipation of skinny jeans. I love a skinny jean, I will always love a skinny jean, but it's been a very big deal for me to look outside of the skinny jeans category in the drop-down menu and look into other things. Also, style is trial and error. It is so much about trying stuff on, seeing what works. Half the time it doesn't work, but not being put down by that, and keep trying different styles and whatever. My turning point was when I got the frame satin cargo trousers. That was, I don't even know what made me try them on, but I tried them on and I was like, I think I look really great in these. And they're, you know, an oversized, baggy, not tight style, which I would never have previously looked at. And I was like, okay, well, if I think I look good in that, then there must be other trousers that maybe I think I'll look good in. And while a lot of straight leg, wide leg, flare styles of trousers and whatever, I still look at and don't think I look good in them, there are some that I do. And trousers has been a tough one for me, especially jeans. Like, oh, we can talk all day about how hard the journey is to try and find a good pair of jeans. Half the time you have to even be in a mentally stable enough state to go through the jeans process. But having sort of opened myself up to it, I've found the pieces that I feel really comfortable in that are not necessarily the most form-fitting, flattering or whatever, but I think I've also then learned how to style those in a way that I think it looks good on me. And at the end of the day, the aim is to try and find stuff that makes you feel confident, that makes you want to go out there and be like, whatever's coming at me today, I can deal with it. I've got it. I am ready and waiting, and come at me. But this kind of feeds into point number one, which is, I think I've kind of come up with my formula of how I like to balance an outfit. So I kind of have this rule that works for me 9 times out of 10. I may look back on this in 2 years and be like, it wasn't 9 times out of 10. Balancing an outfit for me means splitting everything into separates. Okay, so like it only really works for separates outfits, not really for like a dress or something like that. The dress works more. Anyway, a loose trouser, I then have to pair it with, or the base of the outfit has to be paired with a form-fitting top. Okay, so we have tight to the body top, loose trouser. The jacket I can go either way. The jacket most of the time will be like a boxy, oversized, maybe cropped as well situation, but 9 times out of 10 that works for me. If I'm doing a baggy top, so I'm talking like a jumper or a non-fitted shirt or something like this, then it either has to be tucked into the bottom, be it a skirt, a trouser, whatever, so that we create some shape on the body. This is my personal rules. But if I do a baggy top with a skirt, sometimes I will not tuck it in or whatever and just let it flow, but then the legs have to be out, because then that to me gives the balance of the look. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but I hope that somehow we've been able to connect mentally and you understand where I'm going with this. The next thing that I've had to balance is balancing logos. One of the perils of being a logo ho is that you have to end up being quite good at balancing the logos, because we can't be out here doing a pair of Gucci logo shorts with, I don't know, a Louis Vuitton logo t-shirt. That doesn't make sense. It's too much for the eyes. There's 2 separate languages being... We are listening to 2 very different genres of songs, okay? The top is giving EDM and the bottoms are giving pop. We're dancing to 2 very different tunes, okay? Whereas we have to have a look that is singing the same song, or is in at least, you know, in the same genre, like, oh, yeah, it feels good to the ears. I like what's going on there. And the thing is that I mix logos all of the time. It's not that I'm like, okay, I can only wear, if I'm wearing a Fendi FF, then the whole look has to be a Fendi FF look, whatever. But if I'm doing a logo top or a jacket, the rest of the outfit will either be like logoless, or, yeah, the rest of the outfit won't really be logos. Logos on bags are different to me, because I feel like, oh, we can kind of change that up. But for example, back in the day, I used to be out here just like any logos, and we were 2 different radio stations happening, and the looks were, oh, not quite right. For example, when I bought my, gosh, maybe 2 or 3 years now, Gucci jeans, I was always a bit like, oh gosh, okay, now I've got these jeans, love them, how am I going to style these? And I used to wear those with my RIP Dior B27s. Fun fact about those shoes, you remember they were my favourite shoes. Great, sent them off to go get rejuvenated, a little bit of plastic surgery so she would be looking fresh and young again. Guess what? They sent it to the wrong address. Somebody obviously opened the box and was like, great pair of Dior B27s, I'm going to hold on to these. And of course they don't do that colourway anymore. So RIP. Hope the person that's got them is enjoying them at my expense. I used to pair it with those shoes because the neutrals of it kind of made sense. So even though the trousers were logo and the shoes were logo, it sort of made sense together. And some logos are easier to do with others, like monograms are harder to match with other monograms than something like a Celine Triomphe or a Loewe anagram or something like that, because they're more of like a shape. Once again, hope that makes sense. And all of this that I'm talking about today is all about personal preference. And if you want to be out here wearing this logo here, and a Gucci top, and a Louis Vuitton satin pair of jeans, and a Dior bag, and whatever, and you're like, I like the fact that this looks like a clash of songs in the middle of a club, then go off, sis, truly. Because everything is about how it makes you feel. And this is just how I like to put things together. This is something that I didn't even sort of realise I needed to do until I sort of twigged onto it a bit, which is learning about my height. I'm 5'4" and a bit. I'm not the tallest gal in the room. So, but I also like sort of ankle boots, high tops, things like that, which I would be used to back in the day, would be wearing willy-nilly with jeans. Here's the issue. If you're pairing these shoes that tend to be a different colour than jeans, they're usually like black, white, whatever, then they cut me off at my ankle and we're shortening the legs, okay? You know, by the optical illusion that creates. So then what I learned to do is that if I want to wear something that's like an ankle boot, then we either have to continue the colour on the way up, or we just do it with black. So if I'm wearing a black ankle boot, it's also going to be with maybe a black legging, or whatever it is, so that we continue that and so it doesn't shorten the leg. That has also been helpful for me in putting outfits together and kind of, it's the difference between looking at an outfit and going, there's something that like I don't quite like about this, and looking at an outfit and going, nailed it. Recently I got the Renee Calvilla boots, that I wore with tights and like my cute little Tom Brown skirt. But because there's a sort of continuation of the boots into the tights, it doesn't cut me off. Whereas if I'd worn that with no tights, then it's like, oh, boot, and then leg, and then skirt. You know, it's sort of... Anyway. The next thing that, again, has been more recent is tailoring. This has sort of opened my world up a bit, because I would look at a piece and be like, oh, well, that's great, but it fits me terribly, even though I love everything about this and I wish that I could wear it, okay? This has been particularly good for me for trousers and jeans and whatever. But just the knowledge that I can make this look even better on me because it's tailored to my body by just a little nip in at the sides here and a dart in the back or whatever it is, has made me feel more comfortable in some of those pieces. Whereas before, I would have completely ruled them out or been like, okay, well, I can only wear this with this kind of other piece so that it kind of hides the fact that it bags out against the waist or whatever it is. It's such a simple thing, and it took me 30 years to learn, but it's a really, really good one. The next one, and I think this is half the time what your 20s are about, is understanding your own personal level of sexy. Sexiness as a concept changes as one, you know, goes through life and ages and whatever else. And in my 20s, as maybe most of us were, you know, the tighter the better. I loved a vélégé bandage dress. You couldn't tear me out of one of those things. But that is exactly what I was into. I was like, tight, the legs are out, you get a little bit of something with the breastises, okay? I would pair it with my little Victoria's Secret bombshell bra. There were dark times, there really were. However, do you want to know what? Let's give ourselves some grace, because I thought I was killing it. And you know when you look back at pictures and you're like, oh my gosh, embarrassing, why did I think that was nice or whatever? It doesn't matter, because at the time you thought you were killing it, and that's all that matters, okay? Whether you will look back in 5 years at what you're wearing right this second and go, oh, tragic, doesn't matter, because right now, you think you did a good job, okay? So, still got those vélégé bandage dresses. There's a time and a place, all right? And maybe one day I'm like, I want to get it all out, right? But now I have a better idea of what a sexy outfit, or something that is the amount of sexy that I feel comfortable in, is to me. I kind of have a little bit of a rule. Again, there are exceptions to the rule, but I have my one sexy card, okay? Which is, I can either play the sexy card for the top or the bottom of the outfit. And what I mean by that is, if I'm doing a mini skirt, right, then that's my sexy card dealt. Okay, I've traded it in for the miniskirt. So the top, we can still be tight to the body, but we're probably going to do a long sleeve turtleneck, let's not lie. And then if I'm doing sexy top, then the bottom, I've traded my card in for that, so then the bottom has to be a full length trouser or whatever it is, okay? So that's just my little thing that helps me, because if I'm trading in two cards, then I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit self-conscious. And again, this is my personal level of sexy. If you're out here watching this and you're like, I like to get the titties out, and I like to get the legs out, good for you, okay? And you trade in both of those cards. But this is just like, I know sometimes when I do that, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. If I move slightly, I'm going to be showing something I really don't want to be, and so on and so forth. But, like I said, there are exceptions, alright? I bought that Rick Owens prong top, love that top. It's very out of my comfort zone for me, but I love it. And I wore that with a miniskirt. I did feel very self-conscious actually when I wore it out, but I'm not going to lie to you, that was a sodding look. So sometimes there are exceptions to the rule, but generally this is like the little rule that I do for myself now, that back in the day it was just, is it tight? Is there something showing? Coming to terms with ruling out certain pieces and just being okay with it. Like, I am now very comfortable in the fact that, there's two in particular off the top of my head, that I'm like, I never need to look in your direction again. I've come to the point in life where I'm now at peace, okay? And I've tried and I've struggled throughout the years buying these two very specific items, and every single one I've bought I've had a problem with in either which way. Number one, a denim mini skirt. It's not for me. Denim skirts give me a level of restriction that I simply do not wish to involve myself in this lifetime. I don't know if it's because, like, I'm slightly more hippie or whatever, that like you take 2 steps and it's riding up. It's too much maintenance, too much to think about, can't be bothered with it. Good riddance, I'm done. The other thing, this was again, maybe it's been a year since I've had this realisation. Denim shorts. We don't all need to have a denim short. We don't all need to wear a denim short in the summer, Cassie. I don't know why I felt as though I had to have a denim short, but I have simply not come across one that, and the thing is that I might have bought it and then been like, oh my gosh, this is the one. And then after a couple of months go by, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate myself in them. So I have simply just said no, right? When it comes to shorts, I'm looking for a tailored short. I'm looking for a high-waisted tailored short. That is my wheelhouse. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you, there's one denim short that like, oh, if money was no object and if it was still in, then I would probably get. And those are the men's section Louis Vuitton shorts that I'm obsessed with, and they have the monogram, whatever. That is probably the only kind of denim short you will possibly ever see me in, and the chances of that are still extremely slim. But otherwise, I'm good. I'm fine. Thank you very much. I don't need it. And I think coming to terms with that has taken a lot. And I don't know why, but here we are, and I'm a better person for it. On the flip side of this, appreciating one's homing pigeons. What do I mean by this? The pieces that you keep gravitating towards and they keep gravitating towards you. And these for me have been consistent throughout my teenage and adult life. And they are just the pieces that I have a soft spot for, I love, I will always go back to styling them in some which way or another. Number one, a military jacket. I don't know what it is about them. I sodding love them. I don't care if I look like little drummer boy Timmy or the Nutcracker or whatever else. I love a sodding military jacket. It makes me feel powerful, it makes me feel regal, and I'm obsessed. They, you know, I maybe want to get to a point in my life where I'm a little bit like, you know, they're Pokemon cards to me and I have to collect them. But I love them and I just feel like they're so different. Anyway, that's not what this is about. I love a white shirt. I love a tailored white shirt. I love the fact there are so many different variations. The collars, once again, it makes me feel powerful. They make me feel confident. There's a little bit of a theme here. The next one is kind of my faux catsuit. And whilst I was talking about not everything needs to be tight to the body, sometimes I like it to be. Okay, my faux catsuit is a black pair of leggings. Got to be the right leggings, okay? Not just any legging. I have my favourites. I actually have like a section of my favourites in my shop, which will be linked below, but with a turtleneck. That is easy to make. You put it on with a trainer, you put it on with a boot. I put that with like an oversized jacket. We're done. Okay, I feel like a little bit of a spy. Once again, I feel confident. Turtlenecks, full stop. You know I love a sodding turtleneck. There's something about them, they look sleek. I think everybody looks great in a turtleneck. What a glorious, glorious piece of design. I love a sodding pleated skirt. I think somebody once commented or something like, it sort of like makes you dress like a child or whatever, in one ear and out the other, because let me tell you, I love a sodding pleated skirt. Got a pleated skirt in there that was my mum's, that I was obsessed with as a teenager, she eventually gave to me, and I will continue to wear a sodding pleating skirt until the cows until I am 6 feet under, want to be cremated, but 6 feet under, I'll be in a sodding pleated skirt. I had to wear like a kilt to school or whatever, maybe it's that. Okay, maybe it's childhood trauma that somehow has woven itself into, I don't know, a piece of my style now. Either way, I love them, I will always gravitate towards them, and I will probably always wear them. And finally, I think I've opened my eyes to pieces that I would usually completely discount because I think they're only right for certain occasions. My biggest example of this has been long skirts, and this has only happened as of last year, okay? I would never look at a long skirt, and I'm talking a maxi skirt. I'm not looking in that section, I'm not interested, because I'm like, great, a maxi skirt is for, I don't know, some sort of formal occasion. Don't ask me why, something told me to get a maxi skirt, a Paco Rabanne one, super comfy, loved it, wore it to Crazy Horse in Paris, wore it to dinner, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is comfy and fabulous, and it gives a different twist to a look, and I really, really loved how that looked. And then I got the Ferragamo one, which is a little bit more tailored and polished looking. It's a little bit more less casual than the other one. But again, that's been one of my go-tos if I want to do a different sort of look for a meal or a dinner, or if I'm going to an event or something like that, and I want that with a white shirt, peak Cassie. Peak Cassie look. Okay, and I've made it very myself, even though it's a category or a style or whatever that I would have previously been like, oh, absolutely not. Just opening oneself and being like, do you want to know what? Let's put one on. Let's try one on in the changing room, because I might just change my mind about it. And it's ever changing, and I might do this video in, I don't know, 9 years' time, and be like, geez, the way I was dressed in my 30s was really quite something. But either way, as long as you feel confident in what you wear, then no matter what the style is, as long as you think you're killing it, you're killing it. Because confidence is the thing that, through the clothes, shines through. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know the main ways that your style has changed over the years. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.